What exactly do you guys have trouble with when it comes to shading or lining? Is there any specific things that you guys want to go over that could help you directly? Or do you want me to just go over it all in all?
I would
Everything.
say overall, for me, I feel like my problem is with like how I'm holding the machine
Okay.
because like all my lines are coming out really shaky and like controlling the depth as I'm pulling them.
Okay. Are you gripping the machine a lot? Like
Yeah,
tight?
kind of, yeah.
So you're going to want to relax. That's probably the most common, I would say. That's the most common issue that I see is that any new tattooer is like death gripping. You know how when you drive, when you start driving, you like white knuckle steering wheel and everyone tells you like, yo, calm the fuck down, like chill out. Like you take one finger and steer the shit. Don't the same kind of concept, right? So when you are pulling a machine, you don't want to grip the fuck out of it. You just want to rest it in your hands. You just want to rest it in your hands and let that shit move. Let the weight of the machine move it. You're just guiding it with your hand. I could tattoo just like this, loose. You could be loose and just guide it through. That's all your hand's doing is guiding. You're not necessarily pushing down. At least once you learn your machine well enough, you don't have to push. You're just resting and letting the needle do the work. You're just guiding where that needle is going, if that kind of makes sense.
Mm.
Specifically with line work. When it comes to shading, I definitely grip it a little bit more, but nothing where I'm like, I'm not even doing this. Like I hold it a little bit further back when I shade, and I'm just feathery and very light. With shading, I would say it's more of a consistent speed pattern. With lining, it's more just guiding the needle, showing it where to go. You don't want to force it crazy because if you force the needle into the skin crazy, whatever you're doing is going to come out the way you want it to. I'll show you. I'll show you guys how I line everything, how I do everything. Start
I
to
have a
finish.
question though.
Shoot it.
Um, I've like when I don't grip the machine, like the needle jumps. I guess if that makes sense. Like
What do you mean?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like um kind of like it bounces. I guess
You mean
When
like
you
if
like,
you when you slip when you're doing the line?
I don't know how to explain it, but like
yeah. What are you talking about? The actual vibration of the machine, or are you talking about essentially the needle bouncing in a sense?
I guess because when I go into like real skin, like I don't know if it's my needle or because like it's kind of like snags the skin, you know, like
Oh,
like it kind of
give
like
me
grabs
like,
the skin and like
okay,
yeah.
okay, I got understand what you're saying. Let me see. Let's see if I can show you how I run this. Get this set up for you guys. Yeah, for me, so I want to make sure I fully understand what you mean by saying that it snags the skin. That I want to make sure I fully understand. So I've had issues like in the beginning of tattooing where the needle itself wasn't the best quality, or I was going too deep, or I wasn't going deep enough, and the skin kind of persuaded where the needle went more. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like
Yeah, but it
real
only
skin?
happens on like real skin instead of like fake skin.
So it can be, yeah, it could just be that you're not allowing. Does it feel like it snags against the skin? Like it's grabbing it kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, I had problems with that like at the very beginning. I was gonna say I had problems with that in the very beginning when I didn't really know needle depth or I didn't know anything of that sort. So I'm thinking it could be a needle depth issue. If you're going too deep, the skin will absolutely tell you where the needle's gonna go, and it's gonna feel you're gonna have way more friction in a sense. That kind of makes sense.
Hmm.
It's like being in deeper water. Like if you're ankle deep in water, it's not going to pull you. But if you're knee deep or waist deep in water in the ocean and there's a riptide, you're going to feel it pulling you, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's kind of the
Uh,
same thing with skin. If you're going too deep, you're going to notice blowouts. You're going to notice your lines are not going to be straight. and you're gonna notice that you're being pulled in a direction. Like if you're trying to pull a curve to the left and you're too deep, the skin's not gonna let you go there smooth.
Okay.
That kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
Same thing if you're too surfacey. If you're too surfacey and you don't have a good foundation in the skin, in that layer of skin, the needle is also going to be jumping around more. So it's like your line's going to be more shaky. That also kind of makes sense or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, bet. So I'm going to explain kind of how I hold the machine, how I go about wrapping the machine, and why I kind of do it the way I do it. Show you guys now. Let me use this stuff. So whenever I work on fake skin, I use like an oil-based kind of like during care. So for this, I'm using the Mad Rabbit one, the Mad Rabbit Glide. Is this not going to automatically focus? No. Type shit. There we go. It's the Pro Glide is what I use, and it's very oily. Like you can see. I don't use this on real skin because it tends to pull the stencil off completely. For this, I will toss this on. And I'll show kind of how I choose to shade.